All right. Hi guys, welcome to the collaborative this week. How are you guys doing?
Bueno.
Bueno. How have your guys' week's been going? How's classes? Bueno. Thumbs up. Busy. All right. So this is the agenda for the collaborative today. We're gonna go through introduce Lina, our director of student life and conduct, have some open comments and announcements. Hi. And then we're going to talk about kind of senators. We were talking about how at the last town hall how we were talking about to represent one person from your club or organization to come to these meetings just to see if you guys designated that yet. And then we're going to talk about the allocation of press from BASU and then go over proper voting procedures and then close it out. So this is Lina, our student life and conduct advisor, director. I'm sure she has a few things she wants to say.
I'll come up here so
Yeah.
that I'm in the shot, right? Not that I love being on camera, but hi everyone. I think I've met most of you, but not all of you. So could you go around the room and introduce yourselves and tell me what student organization you're in?
Yes. Start with you.
I'm Brian Waterama. I'm in PTK.
Cool.
Drew Kelly, ASO, PGK.
Beautiful.
Caitlin Carl in CAB.
Dennis Martinez, HSL.
Panic Castle on HSO.
William Luna, HSO.
Josue Kiside, Carl.
Blessed Wandra, BASU.
Christine Stewart, BASU. Kiara Richardson, BASU. Tikva Finn, PTK.
Morgan Brown, PTK.
Danny Meyer, Addy Club? Or are we saying something else?
What's that?
First time here as well.
Perfect. That's okay. And as you can tell, we're all learning. This is a new, and Corey's in the back. Corey Turner,
Hey, Corey.
the Alumni Association. So this is a new format, new setup, and we're in a new year. And we haven't closed the application deadline for new student organizations. So until the next meeting, has been a small group so far. It should grow quite a bit. As you guys know, every student organization is responsible to have at least one representative if you're not an academic student organization. And a lot of times academic student organizations will come because they will be requesting funds from you guys as well. So just to give you a little bit of background, it feels like a small crew. I really appreciate you being here. I think it's important for us to kind of get our feet wet with this thing, try it out. A lot of us are new to student organizations and student alliance. So thanks again for being here. Like Liz said, hi guys, come on in. And we can spread out, we can add chairs if we need to, that'd be awesome. There you go. Look, you guys don't even have to move.
Look at that.
Everyone's gonna have to leave in like 15 minutes, so
Cool.
sorry for dusting the circle.
No problem. It's awesome. That's what we call inclusion, right? It's making it easy. So like Liz said, I'm Lina Blair. I'm the Director of Student Life and Conduct. I wasn't here last time, so this is my first meeting this year. My job, basically, as the Director of the office, is to make sure that everything kind of stays afloat. I'm the final approval for a lot of the things that Student Alliance and the student organizations do. So final approval for you guys to be registered as a student organization. Final approval on spending money, on hosting fundraisers, putting posters up, you name it. So as much information as I can have about what you guys are up to, I want to have. So keep me in the loop about things. And if you have questions, either myself, I want to help you get up and going as a student organization, and then my staff, my expectation is that we are accessible, our doors are open, and we're here to help you guys figure out student organization stuff. So again, keep us in the loop about that. I have a couple of announcements, so I'll just steal the show right off the top here. So as I mentioned, the registration deadline for student organizations for both new and renewals is the 28th, so that's 2 weeks from tomorrow. So if you haven't filled out your registration form, please do so. We've been working each week at the least, we've been meeting to make those approvals so that you guys can access your funds sooner rather than later, and start reserving spaces and letting people know what's going on, that kind of thing. If you know of student organizations who haven't re-registered, because I know a lot of you guys are in several student organizations, please, please, please let your friends know, or anyone who's interested in starting a student organization, let people know that that deadline's coming up. If I had my way about it, I would make the deadline, there wouldn't be a deadline and we could just roll with it all year, but there are some formalities that kind of force our hand with having those registration deadlines, like automatic funding and that kind of thing. So make sure you get it done in the next 2 weeks. The next window would be at the beginning of the winter semester, so let's make it happen. If you haven't swiped in already, by the end of the meeting, if you could swipe in, the swiper's right on that ledge over there. And then the other biggie that I've got is I'm on the selection committee for the new Chief Equity and Inclusion Officer. That position is a new-ish position to campus. So we have the Woodrick Center for Equity and Inclusion, right? You guys all know what that is? Do you all know what equity and inclusion mean? Yes? Kinda? No? Okay, so there's an office on campus whose job it is to make sure that everyone's voices are at the table in every way. So in meetings, in selection processes for jobs, making sure that our processes are fair and equitable for everyone, making sure that everyone has equal access to education, to special programming on campus, that kind of thing. So that staff is a very important staff, and that position has been elevated from a director level to a person who reports to the president of the college. So that committee has been charged with the task of reviewing all of the applications, doing a first round of Skype interviews or Google Hangouts, and now the next step is to bring 5 candidates to campus. They're coming the first week and second week of October. Their interviews are a day long, and we are looking for student leaders to escort those candidates around campus for the day. And so I would like to, I'm asking you guys first, because you are student leaders, you're the best of the best. So if you have interest in that, come talk to me after the meeting and I can show you what days we have available and we can talk through like what would work best for your schedule and that kind of thing. But it's an awesome opportunity. Hi guys, look at this, your spot.
I have a question on that.
Yeah.
For like a student leader that would want to do that and escort them around, touch base on escorting them around like to places they need to be, just to show them around, or to have them come with you and like, see campus through you, like what do you mean?
That's a great question. So their interviews are all day and it's a series of different meetings that they go to and lunch and presentations and that kind of thing. So they would meet with like the candidates are meeting with the selection committee, they're giving a campus-wide presentation, they're meeting one-on-one with the president, they are getting a campus tour from whoever's escorting them. And so we need people to kind of be their buddy all day and like help them feel comfortable on campus, give them a brief campus tour, chat them up, let them know that what you think about GRCC and why it's cool to work here or be a student here, that kind of thing. So what that involves is if you could not be in class all day, that would be the most preferable. If you can only walk them to and from meetings, and I have all the schedules, that would be okay too. But again, if you can make a day, and if I have, there are 5 interviews, if I had 5 students and each person took a day, that would be the ideal solution.
Someone to just email you and reach out to you, see what schedule would work best?
Yep, after this meeting, I can go over one. Sound good?
Yep.
Yes.
And these are people who are potential for, like, to have that position that
Exactly.
are reporting to the president?
Yep, they're the
Okay.
final 5 candidates.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. The only thing you wouldn't be able to go to is the dinner is at, I think it's at JW Marriott, and that's,
Come on!
yeah, right.
What about lunch?
I believe that lunch would be included.
Alright.
Can't we, like, just restaurant-wise?
What's that? Yeah, can I push a little harder to get you guys to dinner? Yeah. I don't think I would be able to do that successfully. Cool? So let me know at the end of this meeting if you're interested and we can look at schedules and all that stuff. Sound good?
Perfect.
Cool. Thanks for being a part of this, you guys. I'm happy to start a new year with you guys. Cool? I'll log back in.
is the next one on the agenda. So during the last meeting, we requested that someone from each organization or group on campus designated one person to be a senator, to be required to come to each of the every other Thursday meeting. I'm not sure what organizations. I was gonna extend it another week to reach out to all the other orgs that haven't made it. But has any of the organizations here chose a person, like I know Caitlin's going to be to every one of them. Have any of the other orgs chose a person that will be here for every other Thursday meeting? All right. I will have you, each person that raised their hand, I'll go down the line and have you say your name and your organization so Emma can write it down.
Brian Waterama for BTK.
And Caitlin for Cal.
Yeah, I
William Little for HSO.
And Blessed for BASU.
Can you refresh my memory what time every other Thursday?
Same time as out, 2 to 3:30.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Is that it?
Myself. David. And then HYNH,
What was the club?
ISO and InterVarsity.
So just as a point of note, each person can only represent one student organization according to the guiding document.
Is that what we have for orgs? Oh, no, I didn't. Get you. And then proper voting, huh?
I know there was a comment about,
Oh, wait.
just open comment for clubs to say anything that they want to say. I know that was requested, so if any of the clubs would like time to say anything.
I have something.
Awesome.
So on October 20th, CAB is throwing together a family event, and it's going to be a trunk or treat, and it's going to actually be on top of the ramp across from this building, and we're asking 2 people from each organization to volunteer their time and their car to decorate their trunk, so that way we can make this event really great, and we need a lot of help with this event.
And do you have what time is it from?
It's 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Setup starts at 7, so it's a little early, I know, but I'm really hoping that we can get a lot of people, like I said, to donate their cars and their time. There is an incentive here for you, so it's basically we're going to do a contest, and whichever organization decorates their trunk the best, CAB will donate $100 to their organization to help them plan their own event.
Okay.
So yeah, and then let me see.
And for the 2 cars from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. or set up 7 a.m., does that have to be the same 2 cars, or can they rotate? Can the people rotate from the club?
No, I don't think that's what she said. She wants more
So-
than 2 cars.
Okay, so we're asking that 2 people from each organization volunteer to help out at the event, but also to be involved in the contest as well. So like they'll
So it
bring
should
their
be the same
cars,
people.
they'll decorate them in the parking lot before it happens. Yeah. If anybody, if more people from each organization wants to come and decorate a car,
That's awesome.
more than welcome to. We would be happy to have you guys, all of you. So yeah.
Thank you.
I have a question. So do we bring our own materials to decorate it, or do you guys have them?
Yes. We do ask that you guys decorate it to the best of your ability. We will be providing candy though, for everybody's trunks, so you don't have to worry about that. But it's a contest, so we want you guys to get creative and decorate it yourselves.
And the date was the 20th of October, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Any other organizations have anything else to add in?
We in PTK just went on a leadership conference this past weekend. Morgan and June were there. To me, I mean, it was probably the best experience I've had here in school. We did do a lot of team building. We did a lot of fun stuff. I think the only thing we missed out on was, what is it, Captain?
Captain on deck.
Captain on deck. We left early for it.
Where did you guys go?
Leelanau, so it's up by Traverse City,
Mhm.
up in one of the peninsulas up there.
Great.
It's it's Leelanau Outdoor Center. It's part of the Sleeping Dunes National Lakeshore Sleeping Dunes.
It's okay.
NASO has switched its meeting times from Thursdays to Fridays, 1 to 2, 06 College Park Plaza. That's the business floor conference room there. Also, we had our first meeting last week, and we are trying to figure out where we stand on the whole Indigenous Peoples Day proposal that the college is looking to push forward. If you don't know, that was a proposal that was brought to Dr. Pink last year, or actually the year prior to last year, and he rejected it because of the wording was not inclusive enough. Where's the line? It wasn't inclusive enough. I was just talking about inclusion and equity.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
And that's that's one of our values. So we're trying to figure out where we are, and I would really like for our NASO members to be a part of writing that document and sending that off to Dr. Pink. I know at the end of last year we had the support of a number of the groups here, so I really appreciate that, and I hope that continues. I want to meet with Elizabeth to just talk about that, actually, where we are, but I just wanted you all to be aware that that's still in the works, and it would really mean a lot to me if I'm leaving here next semester, so I would really like to see that issue resolved.
Any other Bob's anything?
Oh, I almost skipped over one, the extra allocation request. Last week, BASU came to us for an allocation request. I would actually like you guys to touch base on explaining a little more to our group here on what your plan was for that.
So we asked for the extra money because our name used to be BSU, Black Student Union, and we wanted to change it to Black Africana Student Union so we can include everybody. And so we just need new gear so people can know who we are instead of the old one.
And, yep, and that's a start to it. We passed their extra allocation. Do you have the exact number of what that was? 900. I believe the extra allocation was 900, so it was under the $1,000 cap. So Student Alliance voted to pass that without bringing it to the table. And that was the one and first request we have gotten.
So, before you move on, I just think, it was like a question that was brought up last time of how that goes, and so I think it's important for us to kind of lay down like the rules of how you bring those requests to us. So the rule is like if it's under $1,000, you will bring it to us on the Thursday when we're just like, when it's the leadership board meeting. And then if it's under $1,000, right then and there, the four of us can vote on it and either pass it or deny it. If it's greater than 1,000,
Yeah. Yes.
yeah, you'll still like bring it to us and go over, give a little spiel or whatever about it. And then if it's over 1,000 or over, it does have to be brought here for everyone else to vote on. then I think there's one more part to it. If it's under $1,000 and it's denied, the 4 of us deny it, then you guys can appeal the decision, and there has to be like a greater appeal than like you just disagree with us. Like if you have like an actual reason, then you can bring it here and you get 5 minutes to explain your appeal, and then we give our explain for why we denied it, and then there's a voting here, and if 2/3 approve it here, it gets passed and you get it. Does that make sense? Maybe, yes?
Accurate.
Okay. That's it.
Proper voting. I know that for the first meeting, we went over the budget and voted and passed on that and all that jazz. And with being a new student alliance group, we are still new to this and learning all the basics and what we need to do and the guiding document rules. So to touch base on the rules for the voting process, we will, whatever the scenario may be, we will ask to vote, raise a hands for yes, everyone that raises their hand. What I was unaware of for the first meeting is that even though everyone that was participating in the meeting was a yes, I still have to ask the no's and a raise of hands and write it down, and then the undecideds and a raise of hands and write that down as well, even if it's an all yes. So that is the guiding lines of the voting procedure, to my knowledge for now.
Also, it has to be by a show of hands. And so I know like some of you might not feel comfortable with that, or like you'd rather not have it so open for other people to see, but like by the guiding rules, we have to have it by a show of hands.
Yes. Sure.
I think the other thing to make sure that we're considering is, yes, there has to be a show of hands, but I think my biggest concern as an advisor and like watching how, I've only been here for 2 years at GRCC, but I've had a couple of years to learn like what this group normally feels like. And I think it's important that we give the proposal or the ask proper time and proper consideration. So when people are presenting things, they'll be given 5 minutes to share what they're presenting, what they're asking for, and then you guys will have 5 minutes to ask questions and discuss. In the last couple of years, it's been pretty quiet during the discussion times, and I'm not saying that we need to like be super critical and like deny things at all, but I think it's important for student government to know how you're spending your money, and so if you have questions or you want to learn more about what they're after, what the group is after, or how we can support them, like BASU is a perfect example. They, brought their the proposal forward and asked for money to get their name out there. What can the rest of us do to help BASU get the name out there? Like how can we can take that as a clue of like, man, we gotta let people know what BASU is all about if that's one of the things that they're presenting, so kind of thinking beyond just like approving money, like how can we spend our money wisely and support each other in the things that we're doing. So we'll make sure that we give you guys 5 minutes to have a conversation, to ask questions, to review, that kind of thing, and then we'll move into voting. It would be helpful because I don't want to like step in and talk. Obviously today I feel like I'm talking a lot, but I would like for you guys to be self-sufficient, and eBoard needs cues from the rest of you attending of like, do you feel like we're prepared to vote? So if someone can, we don't have to follow to the code, Robert's Rules of Order, but if someone can say, hey, like, Druin's like, okay, I think we understand this as a team. We're ready to move into voting. Hey, can we move forward to voting? Like just giving eBoard a heads up so that like they can gauge where you guys are at and feeling like you understand it. Obviously they will have spent a lot of time with their council, so they don't want to assume that like we're ready to move into voting if we're truly not. So if we need to give something more time and more consideration, we can totally do that. So keep us in the loop, like give us that feedback as we're working through things in the meeting. Sound fair?
Did I say something?
Yes.
And to tail off on that, with us only having our first meeting the other 2 weeks ago or so, and BASU coming to us so soon with an allocation request, which was great. I don't want any other organizations to feel like, bring us your requests. We wanna know what you wanna do. We wanna have more events on campus. We have the budget to do it. And we'd like to be able to have more activity on campus and more inclusion with everyone that comes. So, give us requests.
And this
Let us
is-
know what you wanna do.
This is proof that it can happen, so.
So come forward, any ideas are good ideas, nothing's a bad idea, so be open with it.
And there are some new faces here yet this meeting,
Yeah,
so
I was
I
gonna
do
say
want
that.
to do another introduction of us four and
And-
kind of
and
what our
all of you
roles
guys.
are. Yeah, so,
So, my name's Elizabeth, I'm the president of Student Alliance. This is my second semester here, I'm majoring in pre-pharmacy.
I'm Dylan Evans, I'm the External Affairs Director. It is my second or third semester here, and I am political science for pre-law.
My name's Emma Johnson, I'm the communications director. This is my second semester here and I'm going for elementary education.
I'm Emily Mizek, I'm the operations director. It's my first semester here and I don't know what I want to go into yet.
I'm Nathaniel Meyer. This is my 5th semester, and I'm going in for computer programming.
And can we say the organization we're with?
Well, they technically already did. You just weren't here.
Also,
Well, we'll say it
I'm with the
again.
anime club, so you all already know.
Thank you.
So I'm Morgan, I'm part of PTK. This is my 4th year here, so started my 4th year. I'm a photographer. I already have 1 degree, getting that second one, almost done. And yeah, that's all.
Marcus Jones, former with BASU, majoring in nursing. I want to become a surgical nurse.
Christine Stewart, this is my second year with BASU and I'm going here for dental health.
You want to grab me in the back?
Hi, I'm Malcolm. I'm the secretary for Stand Out. I've been here for 4 years now, and I am here for archaeology.
I'm Laura Dykstra. I think I'm going into my 3rd year. Yeah. And I'm here at the university.
Mitch David. I major in computer science, and I'm represents for ISO.
Okay. I'm going to actually grab you in the back just to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Corey Turner. I work at the foundation here at the college, and I'm the advisor for the Student and Alumni Philanthropy Club here.
Blessed Wandra, I'm here with BASU, and I'm majoring in nursing / culinary later on the road. And,
I think so.
Hi, I'm Josue Kisir, the president of CAR, and this is my 2nd year.
William Luna, here with HSO, and going on my 2nd year here.
I'm Hannah. I'm the secretary of HSL, and this is my 2nd year.
My name is Dennis Martinez, 4th year here.
I'm Caitlin, and I'm a part of CAP, and this is my 3rd year here, and I'm majoring in pre-pharmacy.
Druin, I am president, Native American Student Organization, PR historian for Phi Theta Kappa, 3 going on 4 years now, and I'm an aspiring filmmaker.
I'm Brian, I'm the treasurer for PTK. I think I got everybody beat, I'm 5 years here. And I'm pre-business.
Awesome. So I hope to see some more faces for the next meeting. Yeah. Oh, before we leave, any open ideas or suggestions for food for the next meeting?
They have that chicken cheese dip.
Grapes?
What are these?
Grapes.
Grapes?
Diamond grapes.
Those are some
There's
good snack
like
foods.
a chicken cheese dip.
Artichoke dip.
It's so
Oh,
good.
that slaps.
And then there's also those soft pretzels with cheese.
Maybe some like soft pretzels.
I really like cheese.
I second the
I don't know, I couldn't make it with that. We had it at our
Buffalo chicken
You guys
ranch
should
dip.
definitely.
That's what it is. It's the buffalo chicken ranch dip.
Buffalo chicken ranch dip.
Dark chocolate companies.
Oh, I kind of slipped actually, to be honest with you.
Really.
So what?
You kind of slipped. I was like, yeah, we would do it. But now you're gonna be more prepared in advance next week. That next other Thursday.
That can be
Yeah,
our
for
final
sure.
meeting.
Okay, final meeting.
That works. Okay, well, I think that wraps up the majority. Time.
Did you guys, this is for my own sake, did you guys explain the difference between collaborative and town hall?
Well, that's no, feel free to go ahead, Liz.
I am not the best explanation, so I know.
Go ahead,
You got it.
So, town hall meetings, which is what we had last time, those are the meetings where if there's like official business or voting to be done, that's the top priority of the day. Not to say that those things won't happen at collaborative meetings, but we're gonna try to limit it to the town hall meetings. So, extra allocation requests, budget updates, all that kind of stuff, like that's the stuff that should be happening at town hall. Collaborative should be a time and a place for people to come together to learn things, to work together, to plan events together, to collaborative, like the name, like let's work together to like do something. So if you guys have agenda items of things that you would like to propose, so let's say there's a project that you want help working on, this is the time to talk about that. Emma sets the agenda a week in advance, and the agenda gets updated on Raider Connect, and I'll show you on the screen what that looks like. So on Raider Connect, you go to the calendar and you can see like today's meeting. So that this is today's meeting. We set all of the meeting dates are on Raider Connect. They're all out there, so you can add them to your calendar. And then if you scroll down in the description, the Google Doc for the agenda, once it's set, should come out the Monday before the meeting on Thursday. You should be able to pull that up in Google Docs and view it right then and there. So that's how we're getting information out about what's on the agenda. So if you have ideas for agenda items, that kind of thing, talk to Emma. She's your girl. And you guys can figure out if it makes sense for a collaborative meeting, timing, that kind of thing. So I know that that's not something that has been one of our strengths as a team in the past, but we would love to hear from you guys because you are student government and we represent you, what you want to have on the agenda. So keep us in the loop about that as well. Yes?
I actually am glad you mentioned and clarified that because I did want to mention and I almost forgot. Soon here in the near future, I know Liz and I have been working with Hilda. She is, what is the proper word for her?
I don't know her exact title, but she manages the grant for
Yes.
suicide prevention.
Yes, so that. And then Joe, who is our co-advisor for Student Alliance, who is Title IX and Student Conduct, I believe is his title. We would like to eventually soon bring a training to one of the meetings in the near future for suicide prevention and awareness, so we can all be trained on that. I know we touched base on it last year with the previous Student Alliance leaders, but that is definitely something I believe Liz and I feel strong about. We have events coming up soon for mental health and wellness, so on and so forth. So that is something we will be planning in the near future. We will touch base with everyone on when them dates are.
There will be like different topics talked about, like nutrition and like healthy relationships and unhealthy relationships. And there are a few more that we have jotted down, but there will be like guest speakers coming in certain ones, and then some activities to do just to get everyone familiar and known about the topic, just so it's good for everyone to know.
This may have been said, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna ask, is there supposed to be a training for like, for one sync or something like that? I think, from my advisor, from what she tells me that you guys already updated one sync. And and there's supposed to be some type of training, but I'm not for sure.
Oh, for Rainier Connect Works sake. Are we doing that?
Yep. So we started a series of 7 different OrgSync, well, what we now call Raider Connect trainings. They're all on the website, on grcc.edu/student life, and then you click on student organizations. So you can see all the dates and times there. But tomorrow, there is a leadership conference. Who has signed up already? Good answers, thank you. So we have about 60 to 70 people signed up right now. But we will be doing a Raider Connect training at that event tomorrow. Everyone is welcome, it's open to all students. We have a great lunch plan. It starts at 9 a.m., if I remember correctly, over in the ATC. So if you haven't signed up yet, you can sign up on Raider Connect, and you can get trained up on that. I'm doing a presentation tomorrow called the Lego Challenge. It's all about leadership and communication. So come to my session if you're coming tomorrow. Shameless plug. Yes. What are you presenting on?
I am doing one on how to be an everyday philanthropist. So how to be intentional about giving your time, your talent, your treasure, and connecting people through your ties.
There it is. Cool.
Anyone have anything to add? No?
This could have been said before I got here, but if we could please all swipe our Raider card before we leave, that would make my job so much easier. So I'd appreciate that.
Okay, awesome.
Cool.
Until the next meeting.